On September 20th, 2025, I got a call from the marketplace. They just cleared out a BMW. By the time I arrived, it was already dusk. This bike was in rough shape. The exhaust pipe was missing, gears out of position. The rear wheel was gone. There was a lot of yellow mud on it. The handlebar was bent upward. The windscreen was smashed to bits, but the price was cheap. I spent less than 2,000 yuan to have it hauled back. I think if we fix it up this time, we can sell it to your classmate. We should each make at least 5 figures. But man, this bike is really miserable. The front shock was hit so hard it cramped up. You can't get the spring out. Even the turn signals outside are flickering. Inside it's full of water, and there's even green mold. Looks like it's been sitting for quite a while. But judging from the engine exterior, it's still pretty clean. In the nooks and crannies, there's a lot of cake mud. As long as the engine itself is fine, the two of us have the skills to fix everything else. There's even more clumped mud on the tail. And it's rock hard. Feels like Lois under a dry riverbed. I also found a service manual on the bike. A 2009 BMW F800 Touring Manual. But there's some bird-like script on it. I can't really read it. The front wheel is even sadder. Only a brake hose is still attached. Without that hose, the front wheel would probably be gone too. The other brake hose snapped off, brittle from corrosion. Tragic. So, I think it's time to use my dog spine trick again and speed up the full tear down. This thing is giving me the vibe of a flood-damaged bike, like it fell into muddy water. As the famous poet my dad Wang of Duxila once said, once doubt is planted in your heart, you'll break open the ice to see whether the seed sprouted inside. Now, I'm more and more convinced it's flood-soaked, like it went underwater. If that's true, we'll lose our shirts on this deal. I yanked off the hose on the tank top. No watermarks in there. Maybe the O-ring kept it sealed. Then I pulled the air filter. Sure enough, there's silt on top of the engine. But the throttle body is closed and fairly clean. I pulled the dipstick. No sign of water intrusion, so I can basically conclude the engine didn't take in water. But from the dipstick, I couldn't measure any oil either. Still, just based on the engine's exterior, this bike, I don't think it has any major problems. Right now the biggest issue is all this mud caked on the bike. I'm worried the wiring got wet and oxidized, but as long as these two EQs are okay, any little gremlins elsewhere are small potatoes for us. Here's the inside of its ECU. Clean as a whistle. The waterproofing is excellent. Then I pulled the plug on the other module. The pins look great. No signs of oxidation. The connector is very clean as well. It's just the exterior that's got some mud on it. None of these connectors show water ingress. Main reason, I think, is every connector's got a waterproof rubber ring. German engineering really is something. I kept going and pulled the ignition coils. The coil bores are super clean. I took out the spark plugs, spritzed a bit of WD-40 down the plug holes. To prevent scuffing, I hooked up an external battery and planned to bump the starter to see if the internals can still rotate normally. Yesterday, with the external battery, we confirmed the engine still turns over. Today we'll sort out the wiring. But the bike has no key. I tried my amateur lockpicking skills, but no use. Couldn't open it. So I confirm, this lock is outside my expertise. No worries though. Don't forget we've got the dog spine trick. I can directly jump the ignition wiring. Power is on now. The horn works, but the start button doesn't respond. It must be an immobilizer in the key circuit. That's disabling the start button. Some bikes can bypass it with a resistor. Bridged across here. Not sure if this one can. Let's try it. I want to start this engine with the smallest possible cost first. Yeeho, what the? Crap did I just fry the EQ? I don't know what happened. It suddenly belched smoke. I thought the EQ burned. But the case wasn't hot. So probably not the EQ, but there's a strong burnt plastic smell here. Sure enough, under the regulator, I found this plug. It connects an external power outlet, like a cigarette lighter. It shorted out and caused the smoke. Just a small issue. Snip it, and we can move on. I plugged the spark plug back in. I can see high voltage arcing here. Power's reaching here, so the bike's wiring is good. And I'm 80% sure the engine is healthy too. Now we can invest a bit more. Give it a thorough mud cleanup. This is dry ice at -78°C. I'm using it to blast off the hardened mud all over the bike. Trust my crafty nose. From a pile of junk in the market, I spotted this bike. This sugarcane costs 6 yuan a kilo. I bought 30 kilos and scrubbed it thoroughly clean. Now look, this bike is worth restoring. Now let's sort out its fuel system. Of course, be careful when dry ice cleaning, or your hands will end up nicked like mine. Now we need to clean the fuel lines. Let's pull the pump assembly. Pull the fuel pump. There are lots of impurities in the tank. I'll siphon it out and clean it first. Is Northeastern gasoline really that weak? After a while it doesn't even smell as strong as yours. I'm being fussy again. With this bit of fuel, I thoroughly cleaned the fuel pump and powered it to test. The pump works fine. It's just that now. Oh bro, write it later. Write it later. That smell. Ha! I fiddled and got it working, and then. That's the situation. Everything else is fine. The bike's fine, I'm fine. Just a lot of smoke in the room. Let's go out and see. If the pump still works, this job originally it was fine. But I just had to power test it. Now it's completely messed up. I'll have to clean it up and temporarily use it. Once we confirm the engine is fine, I'll think about replacing this pump. I did a simple repair on the pump. The fuel gauge function is dead, but everything else works. Let's refit it quickly. First, confirm if the engine is actually good. Fuel's in. Power connected. Time for a start attempt. Wish me luck. This bike's got me a little spooked. The pump's okay. didn't hold us back, and now it's trying to fire. We can invest a bit more. Change the oil. Oil added. Air filter installed. Connect this plug. The bike now meets all the starting conditions. I'm going to start it again. Wish us luck. Oh yeah. It was all. Yema. Damn. Another piece of news for you. There's a big hole under the engine. Oil's leaking out in waves. No idea how it looks inside. No wonder we couldn't read any oil on the dipstick earlier. This job. Really a pain in the neck. At first I didn't even notice this big hole here. Luckily the stator coils inside aren't damaged. I can patch this hole easily. But put your goggles on. Took me a bit of time, but the hole's patched. Interestingly, inside this cover I found, this German bike was made in Austria. We barely got going. I had to add another round of oil. Hope it won't mess with us again. Now I'm going to start it once more. Wish us luck. See, I told you this bike was worth buying. Now I'll use my modding Bible to hunt down the remaining parts. The latest arrivals, an OEM pair of front forks, not cheap. The rear wheel came from a breaker. And I didn't even need to change the tire. This fairing set is from Jishi. Pricey. But the paint is gorgeous. The windscreen and mirrors are aftermarket. But they weren't very cheap either. Add this salvage seat assembly. And this BMW F800 ST is fully restored. Come on, let's go for a test ride. Nothing comes around. This BMW F800 touring bike I got for under 2,000 yuan. Restoration complete. The handling is truly excellent. Thanks for your help. Wish you good health and prosperity. I'll contact your classmate to come see it. And keep the chatter low, okay?